got a story to tell you about this fucking crazy cult. Yeah! All right, guys. Welcome back.
All right.
What are we doing here, dude? We're
You know
podcasting.
We've been enjoying this raucous series where we just talk about really weird shit for like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think it's your turn to talk about some weird stuff, but...
Well, dude, joke's on you. I don't have anything to talk about.
That's cool. I like water. Water's
I just
good.
exited out of my
Just delete this as notes accidentally.
It says in my notes to delete notes and then have this error.
Absolutely.
No, yeah, so it is my turn. And this week, so last week I had asked our audience if they wanted to kind of keep going down this cult and video game train. And a handful of you said yes. No one said no. So I'll take that for what it
I
is.
said no.
Did you say no
I
on
didn't
there?
say no.
Did you say yes?
I said no.
Were you one of the persons that said yes?
I didn't say yes.
Oh, well, there you go. Cool. So people besides us wanted us to keep going, so that's great. So today we do have another cult to talk about, and it is related to video games. This one in a much more fun way, to be honest, than the other one, because this one has like actual ties, and I love it. Now this is again a sensitive topic. The sensitive topic being this is pretty much one of the worst attacks that happened on Japan. Pretty much besides the atom bombs that were dropped.
The nuclear. Oh, yeah.
So this does have that. Okay, so disclaimer.
It does have mass suffering.
Yeah, it does, and it's chemical warfare related, so the suffering is a little bit worse.
We'll have an explicit tag on this one, I guess.
Yeah, so there is that.
Yeah.
Also, some of these names I'm going to completely butcher, probably. I'll have Luke here. I'll show him, and then he can
I'll
correct
try,
me.
and we'll see if I do any better.
Okay. That's true. Here, I actually will do this, and then if I need you, I'll turn it. How about that?
And then I'll tell you some different name.
Yeah. So the cult that we're going to be talking, it's going to be completely off. Every time.
It says Chad Muska. That's Chad Muska.
Chad Muska. Okay, so this is what I wanted to ask you. Have you ever heard of a cult named, this is going really good, Aum Shinrikyo?
Yes.
Have you?
Like topically, not like I wouldn't know much about it though.
What topics?
No, I mean like I wouldn't know anything
topics do you
beyond the
know about
name. I'm just saying like I wouldn't.
So you're lying.
I know it's a cult. I know it's in Japan.
We are going to call them AS from now on.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know because I say it a lot, and I'm just going to, honestly, the amount of times that I'd say it, I'd probably fuck it up like a lot. Huh?
What is it?
It's Aum. So this is how, here, I'll show you.
Call it AS? Oh.
Shinrikyo.
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 Yeah.
See, I already messed it up again.
AS. Yeah.
AS. So I don't need to do that part. Sorry. But so this cult is kind of a fascinating thing, and the lore that happens afterward is really what is tied to this game. So I found out about this cult, because I was diving down deep into the whole, like, what video games are related to whatever. What video game do you think was related to this cult?
What year was it active?
1980s and 90s was when it was really popping.
Not a home console then, right? Was it a home console game?
It was more 90s. Think more 90s, I think, is what they were probably trying to pull from. I think. It starts with the letter F.
Not Final Fantasy.
There you go.
It was a Final Fantasy?
It's Final Fantasy,
oh my gosh.
baby.
Never mind. So the original one?
Yeah.
That's 88.
Yeah.
So 80s. And
88. 88, 90s, baby. Could have been the second one. But so.
Well, I didn't say that. Yeah, it could have been a bunch of them.
Could have been.
Whoa.
But so it was, the idea, I think, was they had said that some of the main leaders who we'll get into his, I guess, like beliefs or the system of religion he made up had pulls from that video game, like of like the
crystals, and
like the different kind of
chaos.
I looked everywhere and I could not find, again, 100%. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna do another cult that I can't just get 100% on. But then I found out this cult has like an extra part of it after the story. So what I want to do is I want to tell you the story of this cult, and then afterwards we're going to talk about how this relates to video games.
Chill.
And I'm excited.
Fire away, buddy. I'll listen, ears open, eyes
open, eyes closed.
breathing.
Our story begins in Japan, the year 1984. A.S., a doomsday cult, emerges from the depths of society, led by the mysterious figure known as Shoko Asahara. His charismatic personality and unorthodox teaching draw in thousands of fervent followers seeking answers and salvation. I can't do that.
I love it, dude. You're doing great.
Good?
You're doing great, man. I just love watching you.
It just my fucking throat hurts from
Then just talk normally, man. You're good.
I am going to talk normally. Asahara, a master of manipulation, melds elements from Buddhism, Hinduism, and various religious beliefs, which again, that's kind of where we get the hypothetically maybe some Final Fantasy elements in there, forging this unique doctrine that captivates the minds of his devotees. The cult's popularity reached its like zenith, or what, like just like the largest it got around the late zenith. Is that what it's called? Is that how you say it? Zenith.
Zenith? Yeah,
Zenith. The late. I wrote that and I didn't even I thought I knew how to pronounce it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Fuck, I suck.
You're good.
In the 1980s and early 1990s, casting a dark shadow over Japan. Okay, so within the confines of the cult's secluded compound, AS delves deeper into their own beliefs. So it kind of started out in this kind of fun, very enlightening. I think honestly the communities kind of were like, oh, like, you know, they literally in Japan, which I thought this was actually really fascinating. They have to register as a religion there, right? Which I think maybe you have to do here too. I really don't know. I don't know the processes of
freedom of religion.
Yeah, so we just can just make it up and it's there. Okay,
whatever you want to do. It's freedom of religion, as long as you're not, you know, killing and murdering and like committing crimes.
Right, these guys.
So yeah.
But yeah, so it was really interesting too because this cult, the more that it grew, the more that it started secluding a lot of its members, to where families could not even, you know, like find out about them, which is, you know, pretty common in cults. They do that.
Isolate, yeah.
But so much so that some lawyers were starting to come after like the cult itself. And there is, I believe, for sure one, but I think it was two reporters whose families and them died from the cult.
Jeez,
so they were like really sending people out, and like again, it started off as something really nice, but then when pressure got pushed back on them, you kind of just started seeing like things like happen around the city.
Jeez, man.
So, you know, as the prophecies, the forthcoming global conflict between the United States and Japan, which again that was what they were really pushing a lot, was this cataclysmic event that would like kind of reshape the world, and they were feeling like they were the forefronts of this.
Okay.
So Asahara, the self-proclaimed savior, convinces his followers that he possesses supernatural powers, the key to their salvation. But like I was saying, so with that comes the controlling of, you know, people by ripping them kind of apart, secluding them, right? So they all were secluded with each other. And there's like tapes like that they have, which maybe I can play some here. But it literally is meditation tapes where he just repeats himself over and over and over and over, like meditate. Like he just says that for like hours. Jeez. And they just listen to it. It's crazy.
That's weird.
So, you know, behind closed doors, you kind of see as its influence is growing within the community, they also started getting some military, ex-military people into their
Of
cults.
course.
That's always a good sign.
Yes.
And behind closed doors, they were engaging in some activities that would be considered a little sussy. They were stockpiling chemical weapons.
Okay. I was wondering which way this was going to go. Okay. Little sussy.
A little sussy.
Like definitely had chemical warfare.
They have a ton of chemical weapons, or at least like product to make that. And this is actually a crazy thing, but so I can't remember if it was speculated, like people thought that they were like starting to get into that, like they saw more pictures of, you know, trucks or people in like hazmat suits, and there were like things that people were like, oh, like I'm like kind of concerned, but I don't think anyone really did anything about it. So I believe like the kind of some of the stuff was in their face, in the like maybe even the government's face. I don't know, but just a lot of stuff like wasn't really done to even kind of check in on them, or if they did, it was like again very the whole thing of being a religion, right? Like you can hide it, you can say everyone
Sure.
is just all on board for this
Yeah.
thing, right? And then on a fateful day in March of 1995, which is interesting because I actually do remember seeing this on the TV as a kid. Some of this because
95?
I looked up a lot of video and images, and I actually do have a little bit more that I feel like I might want to put in, maybe if I can in this video. But it's like it is fascinating the amount of like footage that I was like, I've seen this before.
Yeah, this is
Which is
this is
crazy.
familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the plan comes to fruition for this cult. So the Tokyo subway system becomes a stage for this horrifying act of terror. As unsuspecting commuters fill the trains during this morning rush hour, cult members execute a meticulously orchestrated attack.
That's why I know it.
It was they put sarin gas in, I believe, sarin, sarin, or sarin maybe.
Sarin gas, yeah.
Sarin gas. So it's like it's like bags of gel, right? Or like not gel, it's like water. And they would like put it in wrapped in newspaper. They'd set it on the ground and then they'd poke it with their ends of their umbrellas and walk out.
Yeah.
And so that's how they started that attack. So pretty much what happens is, it releases this potent nerve agent enveloping the subway cars and a cloud of death. Panic ensues, and unfortunately 13 lives are tragically lost and thousands are left injured. Their lives forever scared. I said scarred.
This is 14.
Is this 14?
Yeah, this is 14 deaths. Wikipedia,
I saw
though.
14, 15, 12, and 13, and I kind of just...
No, I mean, if it's
yeah.
it might, yeah.
But is it 14? We can say 14.
That's what Wikipedia
Let's say
is.
14. Wikipedia
just,
usually doesn't lie.
Yeah, it's editable by anyone in the world, so maybe it does, but you can say 14.
We'll say 14.
It's
the Tokyo subway attacked was super grim, obviously. I mean, I think truthfully, I'm trying to think of another attack that was like pretty similar. There was like another, I feel like, gas attack after this, because this would cause like pandemic levels of like nervousness, I think, around the world, because it was like, hey, like this, this gas was released literally in public transports everywhere around the world for the most part has those.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like this totally terrifying thing. I feel like my mom, I legitimately, and I should ask her, I feel like I remember my mom saying, we can't take the trolley or any of that kind of stuff because of that. I feel like I definitely remember that.
Huh. And you lived next to the trolley back then.
And I live right next to the trolley. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this was a huge tragic thing, and not a ton of people knew who it was. But justice does prevail at times, and a nationwide manhunt ensues, with the authorities relentlessly pursuing AS members. In around May of 1995, the elusive figurehead Shoko Asahara is finally captured. His involvement in the cult's heinous crimes exposed for the world to see. So over the years, other members have also been, captured and, apprehended, in other words, that might be in there. But because of their whole entire cult was disbanded in 2000, which I think is kind of crazy that is still, even though, so he was arrested for terrorism in 1995 and it got disbanded in 2000. It's kind of crazy. I don't know. But it's remnants so like the remaining people. So there's still to this day people who worship this guy, in this religion. And they're called Alf. And that's probably not how they're called, but it's ALEF, and it just sounded fun to me to say that. But they're being very strictly watched.
Aleph.
An
Aleph or an Aleph.
Aleph. Alf.
It's ALEPH.
It's
a PH on an F, so it's like the
Aleph.
I think the angel term.
Angels.
An Aleph.
In the outfield.
I think an Aleph is a type of angel.
Is it?
I think.
Oh, that would make sense.
Oh, I gotta look that up.
Yeah, look it up.
But
so they're being kept under super strict. The government's literally like watching them. I mean, honestly, I don't even know if I was a government, I would probably be like, nah. Nope. I mean, I'm a pretty big fan of freedom, though. So, but it is pretty crazy that it's more so. It was a terrorist thing.
Aleph,
I even don't know if we're allowed to say it on YouTube.
Aleph is actually the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet.
Got it.
So never mind. But yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude.
So that's the story of
I remember that too.
Right.
I don't.
yeah.
I can't say I remember that, but like talking about the subway attack, like I know about that. Like I know about that somehow, and I've listened to it on podcasts before, but I don't have the knowledge you have of like you remember seeing like certain images on TV. Like that's wild.
Yeah.
That you were alive for that
Yeah.
terrorist attack too.
I know.
I remember like 9/11, but that's kind of
Mhm.
like expected because that's on our shores.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
and that was like the first time, at least in my life, that
Yeah.
like America was like attacked.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say, in our
It's
life.
like Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
I was like, I wasn't alive for that.
Yeah.
But
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So the video games come to this, right? Like
So-
what does that look like?
this is what's crazy is for the realm of video games, a particular connection is here. And what that is so there are rumors that the cult created a video game called The Story of, and you're going to read this name for me.
Oh gosh.
The-
Kamikuishiki. Kuishiki. Yep.
Yeah.
Kamikuishiki. Ugh, that's hard.
Village.
I'm not good at Japanese, dude.
And so
although kami means God, so God
Mhm.
something.
the God Village.
Yeah.
No.
No. I don't know what
Um,
Kuishiki means.
But what's crazy is, so people literally thought that this game just popped up. I believe it's for Windows 95. And you pretty much play as cult members, serving the god. And it is a crazy, like, so you're pretty much doing all of Asahara's biddings all the way up to when they do the attack.
That's not okay.
Right.
Whoa.
So they created this, was the idea. But the twist was actually the people from from Happy Soft Games. Do you know
Mhm.
anything about them?
No.
Man, I'm gonna forget the name, but they're very infamous for they made a video game with the death screen. The game over is a real dead body.
That's nuts, dude. Is that on PC?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on PC. Everything's on PC, of course. It's always that. Ugh.
Oh, it's crazy. But so they were the ones that made it. And it was supposed to be a parody, and all these, like, the whole like idea was that it was a little bit over the top. This cult actually legitimately made an anime. It's available. I looked it up. I can show it to you later.
I don't need to.
He flies. It's super sick. But they had a studio. So they did have it. They had their own anime studio. The cult had their own anime studio, and they did have their own game studio. So that's why people were like, "Dude, this for sure was from them." So some people don't even believe that Happy Soft made it. I think you can kind of see that it was, but the biggest theory is that they believe ex-members were like a huge help to make this game. So this is a game you can go get. If you wanted to play it, you do have to. I honestly don't know how to ROM like Windows 95 games. I tried to do this on my own. I couldn't do it. I kind of got fed up with it after like 20 minutes. So there's a video I will link here. If I didn't link that here, it's in the documents. The description below.
It's in the documents.
It's in the documents.
It's in the
okay?
documents, guys.
Just go to the fucking documents, idiots. Don't go in there.
Don't be an idiot.
Don't go in there. My private stuff's in there. But anyway, this game. So the whole idea was that, like, because there is photos, videos, and other things that are real from not news media outlets. And so they're like, well, how did they get that? How did they get these interviews with people? How did they get, all of these different things? So it kind of goes in there where, we don't know. There's a mystery of how did they make this game, and was it really for satire? People have said that there's lores behind it, just like the game being able to brainwash you.
Whoa, dude.
And it's like actually gotten people to like want to sign up for the cult.
Whoa.
And so it's interesting. So there's just like stuff like there where you're like, like
a cult that commits mass terrorism but also develops video games and anime.
Yeah, I know, dude.
That is a weird cult, man.
They're a weird cult. But that's it. I mean, that's
crazy.
That's what it is. And again, we did that probably pretty fast. There's a lot more fun craziness to it. I will link a few videos below that are about it very specifically. And then if you are more interested, the public domain website, like, there's a website, I can't remember the name of it, but like everything that's like public domain just goes there, and so I was able to find I haven't been able to actually listen
What are
to
you
it.
saying?
Look. There's videos
Okay.
of all of this shit. There's a documentary, but it's in Japanese, and it looks so good. Like the first, I've just watched like the first 20 minutes, and I'm like, I wish I could understand this.
Yeah.
But there's lots of stuff. So I'll link some things if anyone's more interested, just to dive deeper into that. And again, if it's, I don't know if it was 14th or 13th, that's 100% confirmed. So I do apologize for that if the info was wrong on my end.
Who's to say anymore, dude?
I don't know. We live in a miscommunication nation.
Definitely happened. Sorry, I don't. Whoops.
What? What did you just say?
Nothing.
Are you getting polycharged on our podcast? Right
Polycharged?
Is that what it's called when you get politically?
I've never heard that word before. I was thinking.
Dude, the workaholics guys say it. If you guys really want funny, no, I'm just kidding. Listen to our podcast.
Listen to our podcast. No, go check the documents, guys. Go check the documents right now. The documents. Go check the documents right now. Go.